It's episode 1031, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strank, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening?
And from Austin, Texas, author, speaker, podcaster, Jamie Ivey.
Hey, guys.
All right, it is now January 6th. How are you guys doing with your New Year's resolutions? You doing good?
I mean, I made it almost 2 days this year, which feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. I feel like by about 2045, I can make it to 2 weeks in. So, you know, it's all about grace.
I know how I feel about resolutions.
Yeah, you're not doing anything. Yeah, you're not doing anything. Yeah.
Nothing.
Jamie, you are.
Yeah, let's hear it, Jamie.
Well, I made the decision. My body's telling me we need to get yourself together, Jamie. You're going to be 45 this year. Stop playing around, acting like every day is a celebration. And so I'm doing Whole30, dry January, trying to walk a lot. So I'm just, I'm 6 days in and I want to pat myself on the back. So I'm doing really well. So 6 days in, A+.
I like how you went ahead and just did like 5 things that are
right. I know.
You did like the what was it, like the hard 90. I'm hearing Whole30. I'm hearing somehow dry January and sober October in the same month.
I just am jumping in.
I'm sure there's some sort of Dave Ramsey envelope system going on. Just a whole.
Hey, no lie. The Ivies did get a new budget for 2023. So listen, it is a new day over here.
Shock and awe. That's what's happening right now. Shock and awe. Yeah.
Total reboot.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, joined a new denomination. It's a whole.
Don't get me in trouble, Jesse.
Took up a new job.
Everything.
Now I know you got to tell us about the show, but before we get to Cameron, I saw some images on Instagram that I wanted to address because it seems like you somehow ended up in time
risque.
Well. Oh. It's a different show. But it seems like you ended up in Times Square on New Year's Eve. You are one of those people that I'm very curious about every year.
I did.
What was the
Okay, so what actually happened was the week after Christmas, I was looking at my Delta account and noticed I was 450 miles from the next status tier. And I was like, you got to fly by December 31st. And so I was like, well, I get a free companion ticket from Delta every year, so I could take Cohen. And then I looked and I had some Delta like credits banked. And so I literally just spontaneously bought 2 round trip tickets for $29 and said, hey, we've never done it. We've never done the New York City New Year's Eve thing. Let's go do it. And so we get there with no plans. And I found out on New Year's Eve, I kind of like read up on like how it all works and how you get down there and stuff. We didn't want to go stand there. We just wanted to see it, been there, done that, and then go somewhere else, right? But you couldn't get anywhere near it. So the way you could get near it is if you had a restaurant reservation, like in the theater district, there's like the nice restaurants all around there. You could get past the police barricades. And so I, on the day of, got a reservation for this fancy schmancy restaurant adjacent to Times Square on 44th. And they sent me a pass. We got past the police barricades. We went to the restaurant. The whole 44th Street was blocked off. So the only thing that's open is the north-south, the Broadway, the Times Square part, but all the side streets are all blocked off. And so there's nobody around. We go to our restaurant and there was like a live band. They're singing Sinatra covers and like New York, and all this stuff. And we were way underdressed and then had a great time, hung out in the lounge. And then at midnight, stepped outside for the countdown. Confetti's flying everywhere, and we were like adjacent to the crowd. We were on 44th. We weren't in the middle of it, and got a picture.
That's
and
amazing.
Then walked back to our hotel. It was lovely. It was great.
That's how I would want to do New Year's Eve in New York City, because that crowd, I mean, I think I would have like anxiety, like just being stuck there for that many hours. That was the perfect way.
They literally were talking about like on the news. They're like, listen, everybody's invited, but there's no holds barred this year because they've been doing a lesser thing because of COVID last couple of years. And they're like, it's back to normal, but you got to remember, everybody, there are no restrooms. And so they told you on the news to like wear a diaper if you're going to go. Because people would go.
They didn't tell you that.
Because they're drinking.
They go in the afternoon. They go in. No, you couldn't drink. You couldn't bring anything. You couldn't leave. You couldn't do anything. So they're standing there from like 2:00 till midnight, and they're like, in the rain. Seem miserable.
So those people aren't drinking?
No, you can't bring anything in.
They just look so crazy on the TV. I just assumed it was a massive, just rager party.
No.
Guys, time out.
Which I also would not want to be at.
Jamie.
Yes.
What would you do if you were watching the news and they told you, hey, y'all, look, y'all can come down here. We ain't got no bathrooms, so wear a diaper.
They did. That's exactly
what
they said.
Why we just gloss over that? Like, that's not, that's
well,
crazy.
I'm trying to think, what email would I get? What event would mean so much to me that I would say yes to that? I don't know.
I'm curious. I am very curious about that, Jamie.
I can't think of anything.
No, nothing.
Like a concert, a sporting event, nothing.
If you want to watch a shiny disco ball drop, right, wear a diaper because you might pee on yourself.
But that's been my number one. The thing I'm most curious about every year is as I'm looking in the crowd and you have Seacrest up there, you have Anderson Cooper and the CNN people, like 6
Don Lemon on his 12th mimosa.
Yeah, exactly. And you're watching this all unfold on TV, and I'm looking out on the crowd, and all I'm thinking is how many diapers we got out there,
dude.
How many? Like what percentage of those people are rocking Depends?
I need people to send us a message and tell us, yes, I embarrassingly admit I wore a diaper New Year's Eve at.
So imagine too, if you needed to use it and you're standing there for another few hours with your own excrement in your pants and you're just hold
on.
I'm so grossed out. I literally am so grossed out.
I don't think that's what, I don't think that's what people are concerned about. If that's the issue, just don't go. Like if
no one's boo-booing in their pants. It's
listen. Here's the editorial question of the week. Wow. Hey, do you think that the people that wore diapers to New York have diaper rash? Yes or no?
100%. 100%.
You get home, you're having to rub diaper cream. That's too much.
Every CVS was sold out of Gold Bond medicated powder. Every CVS.
What did we used to put on my kids' butt? We used to call it butt paste. It's like this thing, So
it's literally all I think about every New Year's Eve when I'm watching it.
That is a steep price.
As we were walking back to our hotel, I did notice that a lot of the crowd was waddling a little bit as they. No, I'm joking.
Oh my gosh.
It's like everybody looked like a toddler that just had that saggy butt,
But that is all I think about.
Now, this is how you start a year off podcasting right here. This is it, right?
But it's better than starting a year off in real life. And it's like, well, how 20, well, the first hour was spent with a soiled diaper, if that's telling you anything about how my year is going.
Oh man.
Not off to the best start.
Yes.
But Jesse, I was kind of inspired to do this because something you said on a podcast a couple of podcasts ago. You're like, you said something to me. You said like, you seem like somebody who just does it. You just like, you'll do stuff. You'll just do stuff. And that was in my head. Like, I want to be my authentic self, and I'm spontaneous. And I just felt like going to New York. And so the day before, we booked a ticket and went to New York.
That's so fun.
Did you wear a diaper, Cameron?
No diaper. Dude, we were in a nice restaurant. I would not have gone and stood in that crowd. It was insane. I mean, there was, it looked like 1 million people. I mean, it was insane. The way we did it is the only way I would do it, which is classy and special access. Like we had a bathroom. You know what I mean? The restaurant was nice.
I was going to say, your bar for classy is extremely low when it is classy is not wearing a diaper. I was going to say, I think we're all pretty classy people.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to Nic D. He's an indie pop artist. You know him from TikTok. He blew up. He's coming up later. Don't miss that. Also, we have your feedback, but stay tuned right now. Up next, Emily joins us for Relevant Buzz.
Perfectly alone. Can somebody walk me home to pearly gates? The universe becomes a wave and crashes down. Forever's not enough. And under new conditions, you and I alone. Can somebody walk me home?
You're listening to Young the Giant. The song is The Walk Home. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Please welcome to the show, Relevance Managing Editor, Downtown, Emily Brown, telling us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week. Hey, Emily.
Hey, y'all.
What's going on?
It's January. Everyone's thinking about resolutions. And there's always those common ones like, I'm going to eat more, eat less.
That's what I want. Done. All
That's an
year
easy
last
one to
year, I did it.
More nachos. Yeah.
I'm in.
I got
I'm
the,
in.
you exercise more, you eat less.
Number
Yes.
1, start the new year with diaper. Number 2, eat more. I am 2 for 2.
So there's always those common ones, but there is one that has been growing the last few years that I think is really interesting. More and more people their resolution is to drink less or stop drinking altogether. So a lot of people do this by participating in Dry January. Do you guys know what that is?
I do.
Jamie's doing it.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we? Yes, we know.
Oh, you are? How's it going?
It's great. It's great.
Why does she sound so concerned?
Well, just the way everyone said it, they were like, well, Jamie's doing it. So I was like, oh, what did I miss?
We had to meet with her last week and said, Jamie, we need you to.
No,
we need
not
you
at all.
Oh,
no, I'm just trying to do my body well this month.
Yeah.
So,
Emily says,
you know.
she says, oh, are you, how's it going?
Are you okay?
Have you made it 6 days? Have you made
Yes,
it?
we're doing well.
Okay, proud of you. Well, you are actually part of a really cool growing trend. It's part of this sober curiosity trend. And there's actually some new reports that have come out. Last year, non-alcoholic drinks, the demand for them grew by 20%. And in the last 3 years since the pandemic started, they've grown 120%.
Wait,
So
a
more and more
non-alcoholic
people-
drink like water and soda? Like, what are you talking
No,
about?
they make
No, so-
non-alcoholic wine. They make non-alcoholic
Like beer,
liquor
spirits.
even. Yeah.
Yeah, mocktails.
I actually, some mocktails. I actually had sort of basically a sober New Year's party because half my friends are pregnant. And so we made a lot of mocktails using non-alcoholic drinks. So it's a really cool trend. A lot of people are doing it for health reasons, whether that's physical reasons or mental reasons. But it is really cool to see that it is just a growing trend and that people are recognizing that you don't need alcohol at every possible event.
Here in Orlando, we just had a mocktail speakeasy open up.
Really?
Like they only serve
that's
mocktails.
cool.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm just playing with you.
You're asking Cameron or me. I think
I'm
it's cool
joking.
because I know some people who struggle with alcohol. And so
For sure.
maybe they've gotten so far in their journey that they can, some people can't even have a
Right.
mocktail,
Yeah. Right.
whatever. But
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
If there's an audience for it,
Yeah. It was nice on New Year's too, because like my friends, like I said, that are pregnant, obviously they're not drinking because you should not drink if you're pregnant, in case you didn't know. But it was fun for them because they still got to have like fun little drinks. And we all kind of participated with them. So solidarity.
Did you make one, Emily?
I did. Well, so here's the thing. When you make a mocktail, it's just like fancy juice.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I was going to say, what
Like-
is the difference between
Right.
like a blended
Right.
mocktail and like what I would get at like Jamba Juice?
It's basically we just had a lot of juice.
you're like, I'll
You
take a
know-
banana cucumber margarita.
Like Shirley Temples, I used to like love those as a kid. I guess they're just coming back now. So
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. That's what I feel like whenever I'm at one of those really fancy Coke machines that they have like Moe's or whatever, where you can just blend. I'm like
freestyle
I'm
machines.
like Tom Cruise in Cocktail. I am just shaking and like, oh, this is gonna be unbelievable. I'm putting
you
vanilla.
put it in like a shaker.
Yeah, I'm
and
putting
a shaker.
vanilla in like 6 different sodas. And
You're
just
doing
see
like
what
grape
happens.
Mountain Dew. Yeah.
These are free refills, right? Yeah.
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 See, that feels dangerous. Too many flavors. Too many.
I literally on those machines, I'm overwhelmed with the options, and I just get a Diet Coke. Like
Yeah.
and I feel bad, like I'm wasting the opportunity. But then I'm like, but I know I like Diet Coke, and I don't know if I'm gonna like orange in my Diet Coke. So like, I don't want
You
to ruin
won't.
it.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm like Walt White. I'm like precise. Mix it.
Jesse, what's the
man.
craziest combination you've come up with?
I mean, I call it going around the horn. I call it a tour of Italy. I call it
Yeah.
running through the garden. Just a little
Right.
bit of everything you can fit,
Right.
just so you run out of space in the cup,
I love that you come up with names for it.
Yeah.
And it all tastes like Coke.
Well, see, mine, I would do it at the old school, fountains go all the way
Yeah.
down when I was a teenager, and it always ended up tasting like Dr. Pepper. Like I don't know why, but like the blending, I don't know. It was good.
I always felt like it tasted like bubble gum. I would call it bubble gum. But maybe I'm having some weird bubble gum. Maybe that's me.
Yeah. What kind of gum you chew?
You know what it tastes like? It tastes like sugar. That's what
That's
it tastes
exactly
like.
right.
Sugar and,
And
carbonation.
that's why I thought
That's
it was gum.
exactly what I'm looking for.
It tastes
Yep.
like sugar.
All right, what else is going on?
Did you guys hear about the new law in Louisiana where, the little relevant after dark moment here.
Here we go.
Wow.
Yeah, it is
Go
Louisiana.
on.
New law Louisiana is setting up for a doozy.
And it's
No,
after
it's-
dark. What is this?
So websites, pornographic websites now have to verify user ages using a state ID in
Wow.
Louisiana.
You have to have a driver's license in Louisiana to look at a porn website. Yep.
You have to put in your number.
Yeah. You have to get your ID verified.
Listen, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of 45-year-old people missing their ID. They're going to get letters in the mail that they've had excessive use of porn sites. Their wife's going to open it up, and it's going to cause a disaster. And it's the neighbor kid down the street who picked up his license. This is what's going to happen.
that's funny.
Or it's him.
Or it's him. But
Or you're
on
gonna
a
have
good
a lot of,
day,
like-
it's the neighbor.
Or have a lot of like McLovin situations out there. Just,
You know what? You know what's interesting is like this law that was enacted because they want to prevent minors from accessing harmful
Yeah.
material online, right? I mean, and the
Which I like.
the legislator who proposed the bill is also a therapist and treats sex addiction and stuff, and was talking about the harmful effects that porn has had on children, how it rewires their brains.
Yeah.
And so she introduced this bill, and it got passed, and it started on January 1st. And so what's interesting, though, aside from just blocking minors from going to sites like that, there are stats that say 75% of pastors struggle with a porn addiction.
wow.
Can you imagine if you are now a pastor who has been secretly looking at porn in Louisiana and you have to put your ID in? it might be actually a deterrent for other people to not go to these websites if you're scared that you might get found out or tracked or something. So I mean, all the way around, this could be a good thing. I don't know.
I'm laughing because Louisiana might be onto something for
real.
you know, besides gumbo. Like, hey, besides good Creole food, they might be onto something. Do you imagine the type of shame? Like, it's like we call it, instead of the walk of shame, it'd be the typing of shame.
The type
like,
of shame.
You just be like, man.
Now, I mean, I love anything that's going to help prevent minors from seeing porn. I'm a big fan of that.
Right.
But I am a little surprised that this was able to pass through with people saying like, this is my own right. I shouldn't have to give you my driver's license to go into a. I'm just a little like, I would love to hear smarter people talk about that, but that surprised me a little bit.
How did it pass?
Yeah, 18 to buy cigarettes, 21 to buy liquor. I mean, yeah, you can do it if you're of a certain age. I mean, that's all they're trying to say.
That's true. And if you go to like, there's a winery in town that I was going to make a reservation for a party to go into the thing. The party's going to be after January, guys. Don't worry. To go into the website, you have to put in your age.
Yeah.
But you don't have to show an ID. I could make.
Yeah, it's more of an honor system.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is interesting is apparently the UK already is doing this. Like there's a couple of international countries that have adopted this rule.
It's still really, so the UK and Australia within the last few years, they've implemented, it's sort of similar ones. I don't think it's the exact same thing, but it's still a little early to see like, is this actually doing anything? Or is it just like you said, like are people just getting creative and finding ways around it? And, you know, we've also talked about how is Louisiana going to monitor this? So like the biggest porn site in the world, Pornhub, they've already implemented this. There's like a prompt screen. If you're in Louisiana, there's like a prompt screen. You'll have it. But, you know, there are, I don't know the exact stats, but there have to be thousands, if not millions of other sites. You know, how are they going to like track it? I don't know. But I mean, I'm in the same boat where I want them to try something rather than just not doing anything.
Like I said, like an effective deterrent for the average person. You know?
Yeah. And maybe other states will follow suit.
Yeah. I like it.
All right. What else got
It'll
in?
be interesting.
Okay, I got one more thing. Before I get into it, when you think of like an iconic musician who's also a Christian, not a Christian artist, but just a musician who's also a Christian, who comes to mind for you?
Bono.
Yeah. Sandy Patty.
Huh?
Beethoven. No, I don't know. Yeah.
Bono would probably be up there for me.
I think Bono is he's the top
Kathy
of the
Lee
list
Gifford.
of that.
She'd be up there.
Yeah.
Jessica Simpson.
Really?
Interesting.
We going with
No
Jessica
one's
Simpson?
I'm kidding.
Jessica Simpson. All right.
That's it. No one said Bob Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Bob Dylan was a Christian.
So this is interesting because Cameron and I have talked about this. So there was a new interview with Bob Dylan. He talked about really a lot of things, but one of the things that he brought up was just his faith. Nothing super profound. He talks about reading the Bible, meditating, praying, all good things. We love and support that. But we shared it and it got a lot of people's attention. And we think that's really interesting because Bob Dylan has been very outspoken about his faith for 50 years now?
Wow.
Since late 70s.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, since he had that. It was after the motorcycle accident, right? That he, kind of had a literal sort of come to Jesus, I think.
He did. Well, in the late 70s, he did like 3 gospel albums in a row. And then he started making just normal music again in the 80s and 90s and stuff. And I think the perception was that was a phase and he's like not really about that life anymore because he just stopped making gospel music and he just made it like a personal thing. But I told Emily this, like back in the day, we published books at Relevant for like 5 years. And we published a book on his spiritual biography. And he was on the cover of Relevant and stuff too. And it's just a thing of like, he has been open about his faith for 40 years. He never backslid or disavowed his conversion or anything like that. And it's so funny to us that like, he's just casually mentioning in this podcast interview, I pray every morning and read the Bible and stuff. That's how I start my day. And we just happened to post that and it went bonkers. Like people are like, he's a Christian? What? And it's like, he's been a Christian for 40 years. Like, it's just weird to me that nobody paid attention that Bob Dylan is actually a very solid, grounded Christian in his real life. But anyway.
It sounds like he also didn't do the thing that guys that start off doing like mainstream music do. He didn't just become a full CCM artist, and it takes time for a brand to shift in that direction. So what you're saying, like, hey, he just put out, a Christian album and then he didn't really do anything else. I could see, because I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't know either. I had no clue.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Well, but to be fair, even though it was, a distinct chapter in his like musical career, he's written multiple like volumes of autobiography and just kind of glazed over it. You know what I mean? He's just kind of an interesting cat where he's always been to some degree a moving target, and not just in terms of, his approach to his career and making music and songwriting, but also in how much of his personal life he cares to share or cares to intentionally obscure. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those dudes where the line between art and performance art sometimes blurs. And so I think some people have had just kind of natural questions over the years of, what he really kind of thinks in his personal life,
Right. Right. But he's never said anything to say I'm not. He was very outspoken in the 70s about his conversion. And then he's never gone back on that or lived or said anything in a way that would say that's no longer true in his life. So he acts surprised when people are like, wait, you're a Christian? It's just really funny because he's just kind of like, well, I never told you otherwise, anyway.
Yeah. Again, we shared it because we were like, we love when people talk about their faith, but it was interesting to see everyone's reaction of just like, oh, Bob Dylan. And it was like, have you guys ever listened to his music? Yeah.
I talked about this on Instagram a while back. It's honestly funny how many people, or how we categorize people that we think are Christian or not, especially in entertainment, because there's a lot of people that aren't in like Christian art, or like they're not in Christian movies or whatever. They're solid Christians. You know what I'm saying? They love Jesus, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And then there's also people that's in all of that, they may not even be Christian at all. They just might be writing songs because that's a great opportunity that they have. But we assume because they had a hit writing a song or whatever, or maybe they had a moment where they, and it exploded. So I think that's the thing with the Christian and art and celebrity and all of that. It's really hard to pin that down and look at that. That's why I don't even like speculating on people's faith and any of that stuff when it comes to art, because you just don't know where anyone is at for real.
Yeah.
And especially in like sort of like more contemporary evangelical American Christianity, there are sort of like these virtue signals that a lot of people send to be like, oh, I'm part of the club, where in historic Christianity, it wasn't really like that. It was a more natural part of a lifestyle, not like, oh, I'm part of this distinct subculture that can be very combative or be very like on brand, or we say certain phrases, like I said, that sort of virtue signal. That's a relatively new phenomena when it comes to expressions of the gospel. It was, more to Derek, to your point, more traditional. More traditionally, it could be somewhat obscured what you may personally believe, but people would more kind of just, make their own kind of discernments and judgments based on how you treat people, how you talk, how you behave, not necessarily, like I said, sort of those things that have become the signifiers that you're part of a certain demographic. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is sort of a modern phenomenon. Yeah,
it's people that their whole idea of what Christianity is that bubble. It's those check marks, right? You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't cuss, and you go to church every Sunday. Boom, Christian. You know what I'm saying? And long as you don't break that category, you're good. But it's so much bigger than that. And then it's just so much bigger than that. So it's dope to see that, it's dope to know that somebody's so impactful like Bob Dylan, solid believer, man, or is a believer. So it's beautiful.
Yep. All right. Well, that'll do it for
Relevant Buzz.
Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every day. We're covering the intersection of faith, culture, life, all the good stuff. Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, guys.
Stay tuned. Up next, Nic D joins us. listening to Jaguar Son and Husbands. The song is First Time Caller. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times best-selling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold. Well, our guest today is Nic D. He's an indie pop artist who started out on TikTok during the pandemic and has been on the rise ever since. Millions of monthly listeners on Spotify. Go check him out. If you don't know him, you're about to get to know him. He sat down with our very own Downtown Emily Brown to discuss his music journey, how he's helping other artists get their start, and how he always stays true to himself. Here's our conversation with Nic D.
So you could walk by me, yeah, I think you skate, I need an ice rink. I see your face whenever I blink. You a Pisces.
I feel like so many people, they have this idea that, you know, you need to be signed to a label in order to, like we said, like get that success and stuff. But I think you, and there's so many other people that are independent artists that have still found success without having to go maybe the more traditional route. So like, what is in your mind like the best part about being an independent artist?
My goal was always to do what I want when I want, right? I want a flexible life. I don't, you either build your empire or you build someone else's. I never wanted to, and this is just a personal thing, I just never wanted to have to be somewhere I didn't have to be, right? Or that I didn't choose to be, I wanted all the decisions to be mine, where I was, what I was doing with my time. Still to this day, that's exactly how I want it. And I won't sacrifice those things for anything really. Those are like, I want to be able to be close to my family, around my family. I want to be, I want to do what I want when I want. And, that was my main and only goal. And then the other things, right, are just like little bonuses. The things that come with getting more listeners or getting more streams or getting more recognition, right? But none of that stuff. Like, I just want a flexible life, doing something I love,
Do you see yourself pursuing music like forever, or do you think this is just like a temporary thing? What's your thoughts?
If I'm really like truly self-aware, I am more of an entrepreneur than I am a creative. I'm more of a, now don't get me wrong, I love making and creating and releasing music, but I'm more an entrepreneur than I am a music creative, right? I'm not sentimentally attached to music. You know, like I said, my goal is to do what I want when I want, doing something that I love. I want to make a living doing something that I love. I love a lot of things, right? I'm not only in love with music or, you know, pursuing it. And then something I'm getting aware of now is that with music, I kind of achieved all of the stuff that I wanted to. You know, I wanted to do it independently. I wanted to, you know, my certain goals, whether those be streaming related, or I feel like I beat the game in a sense. Like, so for me, whenever I saw growing up that I loved or I enjoyed or I thought was cool, I did it until I was good at it. Like I just locked in, did it until I was good, and then moved to the next thing. So with music, creating and releasing music feels a little too fluid. It feels like there isn't a challenge there for me right now. And it just feels like I beat the game. So me creating and releasing songs feels like I'm going back, I'm playing the same levels again, and I'm just trying to collect more coins when I'd rather just play a new game. So in my mind, that new game I want to play is teaching people how I was able to achieve what I was able to achieve. So I started something called Freddie for Artists. And that's just me sharing how I did it.
Favorite flavor of an icy pop, I forgot. I'm steady trying to connect the dots. La-di-da, girl, you got me working round the clock. Can't be stopped.
You are a Christian, but you are not a Christian artist. You're more of just an artist who is a Christian. When you were starting music, like how did you make sure that you weren't just producing Christian music?
I want people to see something about me that's different and wonder what that is. And then, because people care more when they find out about it, not when you tell them about it. And I think worship music is great for Christians, right? And it's great to worship God through that for Christians. I don't think it's as good for getting, you know, for putting it in the marketplace and getting people to, you know, come to church or give their life to Jesus. So it's just a different approach. And then also it's just the music that feels right for me. It's just the music that I like. I write what feels good, what feels real, what feels authentic. I write about my wife. I write about people I've met. I write about their relationships. I write about, sometimes I just write even something for fun, you know? But I think I just want to be who I am. And then if people see that and they gravitate towards that, then there can be a conversation maybe that sparks from that.
I think it's so important to have that space, because I feel like so many people can think that, oh, well, I'm a Christian and I like music, so I have to make Christian music. But there is a space to not do that, to do something else.
I've heard people say like, I'm not a Christian carpenter, I'm just a carpenter. Or I'm not a Christian bakery, I'm just a bakery. I'm a Christian who runs this bakery, but it's not a Christian bakery. Or, whatever I've heard people make those arguments too. And I don't know, I don't look too deep into it. Or if we can just love people well and influence them by our actions, I think it's sometimes more impactful than trying to tell somebody about it.
I really appreciate that you do seem very like go with the flow and just like, it's like you have an idea, but it's not like a set plan. Because I think so many artists, like they can have like a set goal in mind and then things happen, it doesn't work out, and then get discouraged. But so I think like living in that flexibility is really interesting. Yeah.
The biggest blessing is to being able to live like that. I think there's too many pressures on people, whether it be societal or otherwise, that create this, expectance for them to like do stuff they don't want to do, right? Like something simple as go to college, something simple as get a 9-to-5, something as simple as whatever. And they just don't do what's on their heart. They just do what's in their mind because it's been put on them for years and years and years. So I just encourage people to listen to the inside, listen to your gut, listen to your heart.
Hello, pretty baby, my name's I don't mean to bother you. I just thought you looked like somebody I started talking to. If I had $1 for every time that I thought
That was Nic D. Make sure to check out his latest singles. He's been dropping them over on Spotify. It's a bunch of good ones. Gasoline, Cotton Candy. Go check it out. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
Playing in the streets for ages. Those were the days. Calling your friends on their house phones. Those were the days. Summer holidays for 6 weeks. Those were the days. Those were the days. Those were the days. Being friendly with your neighbors. Those were the days. Watching cartoons at 6 a.m. Those were the days. And the technology was basic. Those were the days. Those were the days. Those were the days. I had a crush on Lauryn Hill when she was with the Fugees. Went to see her in concert, wearing my new jeans.
You're listening to New Self, Kinetic, and Braze. The song is Those Were the Days. Okay, it's time for your feedback. I don't know when we asked this. It's last week. Might have been 2 weeks ago. We asked for your predictions.
I think it was last year. I think it was in 2022. It was in 2022. It was last year.
Yeah. We asked your predictions for 2023. You hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and here's a few of our favorites.
So Timothy McPherson has an interesting take, and Jesse, can you clarify this? Because the way he worded it is very interesting. But says we'll find out who Jesse Carey actually landed on top of during the middle of the night when he was visiting that Christian college. So
this sounds like After Dark.
Longtime listeners, I've told this story many times, and so I'm just going to give an extremely truncated version. While visiting some friends at a Bible school that I had no intention of attending, I just wanted to see my friends who at the time were in quite a bit of trouble for some shenanigans at the campus there. The school wisely decided that I should not be allowed to stay with them during the visit and was assigned the room of an upperclassman seminarian who absolutely insisted upon me taking his top bunk and he would sleep on the floor. And I think he was looking for some time to hang out and maybe mentor a little, maybe try to recruit me into the school. And of course, I didn't go to his room till very late at night and he was already asleep. And I crawled into the top bunk and something happened to me that has never happened to me once in my entire life, which is, especially on a normal heighted bed, this has never been an issue. I rolled out in the middle of the night, woke up in midair, only to land on belly flop, direct. I'm talking nose to nose, feet to feet. It couldn't, if I would have practiced it awake, I could not have hit more flesh to flesh than we did that night. And it was like someone drew a chalk outline of my murder. And I attempted to just land directly into it.
My favorite part is that you woke up midair. That's my favorite part.
Woke up in the air, and I had enough time to process exactly what was happening.
So you landed on the guy that let you stay at his. What kind of bunks were these? Were these like? Was it a trundle bed or something like?
No, I mean this was a pretty tall, But he just woke up with a like totally winded.
Was he sleeping on the floor? How do you
he was
roll
sleeping on a
out
sleeping
of
Sleeping
bag.
on the floor.
Oh,
He's a good guy. He's a good sacrificial guy. I just whispered into his ear that I was very sorry. I crawled up in the bed, and I honestly, I think I was pretty injured, and so I needed my rest to sleep off the injury. So I was not in a condition to check on his.
What is happening right now?
To check on him more. By the time I got up in the morning, which I slept late again to nurse the injuries, he was gone.
Yeah.
I was presuming to Bible class, and I never saw him again. And I've wanted to apologize for all these years, and I've been trying to track him down. And I briefly started a true crime podcast to get to the bottom of this, or for our own murders in the building, because for all I know, I did kill him.
Yo, this is crazy.
It was, I mean, if not then, whatever injuries he sustained, I'd be shocked if he's not dealing with lifetime issues.
Oh, man.
He cracked 3 of his ribs.
I've tried.
Oh man.
At least. But I've tried to find
Think
him.
about it.
So maybe, who knows?
He offers you the top bunk. You blow him off. He goes to bed alone. He's laying in bed. You sneak in. He's asleep. The room's empty when he falls asleep. Next thing he knows, you're laying on top of him with force. You whisper, "I'm so sorry," and then crawl
This is
off of him and go
traumatic.
back to bed. I mean, this poor guy. What is he? He didn't even probably know that you fell out of the bed.
He thought it was intentional.
That's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't. He thinks that you walked into the room and like jumped on him or something.
Yeah, he didn't even see me. Yeah, he, for all he knows, that's how I entered the room. I just ran in and body slammed.
Yeah, Jesse, that is.
So I've been looking for him, and I'd like to apologize.
That is.
I
Wow.
wish he listened to this show today.
Probably about 5 years ago, we tracked down the school, and we had listeners that had friends who went there, and we were getting pretty close to finding the guy, but it was unsuccessful ultimately.
The trail went cold.
It did.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Hey, Timothy, thank you. I appreciate. Thank you, Timothy. You just made my day.
Oh man, that's great.
Greg's is a little concerning to me because they're oddly specific. It makes me think that Greg has some knowledge of the future. He said Avatar 2 will win 3 Oscars. Facebook will crash probably in August, but could be September. The Mario movie is going to be a smash, brother success. And we're going to discover something in space that is eerie. The fact that he's predicting when Facebook's going to crash, again, this seems a little concerning that what Greg knows here.
Kevin says Jesse will use his James Earl Tones invention. I forgot about your James Earl Tones invention.
So did I.
I forgot about that.
To also recreate Jamie's voice so she can appear on the podcast when she's on vacation and agree with Jesse when he goes on one of his wild tangents. So a new use of James Earl Tones. I like that. I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah. I'm just glad someone
I just want to go on
recalled that
vacation.
joke because I had already lost it. Yeah.
Let's see. David Shook says Jesse meets Cameron at an airport milkshake establishment. He didn't say this, but I could just add in any time of the day, probably in the morning, and introduces him to the raft of people he chopped it up with in security line.
Yeah, that is a very real thing that will probably happen multiple times this year. Well, there's more. There's more where that came from. Go check out our replies over at Relevant Podcast. Okay, it's time for this week's
Editorial question of the week.
Well, at the beginning of this show, we got to talk about New Year's Eve and diapers. All the New Yorkers who wore diapers so they could stand side by side and watch a disco ball drop. We got us thinking, what would be a diaper-worthy live event for you? What would be such an epic thing for you to be in person at that you would wear a diaper to be there?
I'm going to give mine because the only one that I would wear a diaper at is Jesus coming back and throwing a rap concert. If Jesus was coming back and throwing a rap concert, then I'd be there in a diaper.
I'll double check my theology books, but I don't know that diapers are going to be required at the
I
second
think we won't need them.
So if that's the case, then there's
You're good.
no event that you gonna see me walking around with Huggies.
They make them very non-noticeable these days, I've heard. Like you see the ads on TV. It's just
For
like,
sure.
no one would know. I'm just saying.
But you know how you chose to ring in the new year.
Oh, man. Yeah, so hit us up. Tell us. Maybe it's the Super Bowl. Maybe it's a presidential inauguration. Something where big crowds, you're standing there for long periods of time. There's no public bathrooms, but it's worth it to you. What would that event be? All right, hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and we'll read our favorites on next Friday's show. Before we wrap things up, I want to thank Nic D for joining us today. Make sure to go check out his latest music. His last album was in 2020, but he's been dropping a bunch of singles since then. It's all on Spotify, Apple Music. Go check it out. Nic D. Nicd. Also, make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every day. We're covering the latest section of faith, life, and culture. While you're there, you can check out our fall-winter issue featuring conversations with MIA and so many other amazing leaders and artists and stuff. Go check it out. Also, follow us on all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're putting stuff out. All right. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
I'm Diaper Free Derek.
We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Your bar for classy is extremely low when it is not wearing a diaper.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.